3 important things your husband needs from you. Not just wants, but needs from you. This is part 3. And you really should take a look at the other 2 parts. And my name is Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation. And I think these are very, very important points. So we covered the first 2. The first one was recognition and appreciation of your husband for who he is. The second, we talked about loving communication. Now this third is touchy because of the mis and disinformation that we have all been getting all our lives from a society that is not exactly highly civilized. We think of our society as highly civilized, but it's not. I'm not going to get into that right now. Maybe I'll touch on it later. So, the third thing is expressions of love. But here's the qualifier. Has to be from his point of view, not just what you think. You know, at the Marriage Foundation, we have a free service. And you could take advantage of it too, where you write into a counselor and get some feedback based on your question. Now, these counselors have been trained by me, so they have a very positive outlook towards marriage. And they're also very high integrity people. So we will get some situations where, and it's usually a man will write in with something like, my wife left me 2 months ago, what can I do? I miss everything I want her back. Well, we can't help him. And so we tell him that. But usually when a woman writes in, she's much better at detecting problems before they've split up. And so she'll write in with a particular problem and she'll get a good answer. Oftentimes it includes reading one of my books or taking the course for women, but it's all geared towards making your marriage not just saved, not just getting it back, because no one knows what they're doing when they get married, and it's no one's fault. The people who are teaching us don't know. But we want you to have a spectacular marriage. You got married to be happier, and you got married to experience marital / unconditional love. If you're not, it's not your fault. You're simply not doing what you're supposed to do in order to have that. So in these 3 videos, I'm giving you 3 important things to do that will bring you closer to that. And this third one, expressing your love in ways that your husband will recognize. Because of the women's lib movement, which was so necessary in the business world and for voting, I mean, basic stuff. Women, let's face it, women were treated like second-class citizens, if that. It was wrong. But like everything human beings do, we always go too far. And this idea of a woman being independent is great until she's married. She's no longer independent when she's married. She's become a part of a whole, not half of a whole, not a quarter of a whole, not 3/4, but part of a whole. There's a merging, and it's on a very high level. That's why we have this term called soulmates, because souls, you are a soul. It's not a religious thing. It's a reality. You're a soul. And as a soul, you are love. You're love. Love is spiritual. How could love be anything else? And it's not an emotion. It's not a greater like. It's not like, oh, I really like him, now I love him. No, no, no. Love is this tangible, spiritual reality that all of us have to have. You have to have it, and your husband has to have it. And because we have bodies and minds, we have these material filters that are intended to protect us from a hostile world, because we live in a hostile world. But when you get married, you're putting the hostile world out there somewhere, and you and your husband are forming this union of love. Spiritual, incredible, ever-expanding love that creates ever-increasing happiness. But we've been taught, no, you got to take a stand. You can't just give it up. So, how do you work around this? Well, you have to learn more, for one thing. So, subscribe to this channel so you could learn and you could apply these better ideas about yourself and about marriage and about your husband, so you can experience that happiness and love. Now, a way a man knows that his wife loves him, one of many ways, but a very important way, because he has a body, and it's a male body, which means his psychology is heavily influenced by the physiology of a male body as compared to a female body. He needs to have sex. He needs this. It is an ideal way for you to express your love. I am not suggesting you become his whore or his blow-up doll or something like that. You can transform the lust that is innate in a male body, to a lesser degree in a female body, that's driven by the drive to survive and its sub-drive to procreate. Do you understand that? Every cell is innately driven to survive, self-preservation. Part of that drive to survive is to protect itself. And you got to watch that when you're married, because you got to tear that one down somewhat. Another part is to seek opportunity for food, shelter, to make sure you're safe. It's biologically driven. It just manifests in the mind in different ways according to culture and individual histories. The third thing that manifests as a result of the drive to survive is a protection of you within your species, and it manifests as the drive to procreate. Because like every other living thing, we do better in our group. It's protection. So that drive is there. It is in there in you, in your body, and so in your psychology, but in a very different way than it is in your husband. You see, you're driven to procreate only when that egg is ready. This is biological. This is not misogynistic. I've been labeled by crazy women who go, oh, you're just misogynistic. No, this is scientific. This is not something I'm inventing. I don't have an opinion on this. This is reality. Women are driven biologically to have sex based on certain things that occur. One of those things is when she's looking for a mate, and then she's more receptive, because biologically, nature knows that man wants to procreate too, but all the time. Why all the time? All the time because if he was on a special clock too, the chances of meeting up at the right time are slim. So he's got to be ready all the time for you, who are only ready when, and don't take this the wrong way, but a female is designed by her body to get things too. So when she wants something, and it's all happening in the mind, you got to learn how your mind works. So when you want something, you're more receptive to having sex. When you wanted to find a husband, you were more receptive to having sex. When your body is telling you, egg is ready, you're more receptive, even pushy about it, to having sex. It's biologically driven. It's not a curse. It's not an indictment. It's just the way it is. And on the other side, the male has to be ready all the time, or there'd be no more human beings. So that's like a perversion of ourselves as human beings, as souls, but it is what it is. So you want to work with it. You got to go back to the original premise. The original point is you want a marriage filled with happiness and love. Now, when I did the videos for the men, we talked about him pleasing you. Mostly that's all it was about. It's the same for you. You should be striving to please your husband, how he sees it. Just as when I talk to the men, it's how women see it. It's not a 50-50 deal. Remember, you're coming together. And the idea is to transcend the body, transcend the mind, and be connected as souls. So you use this sex that he craves because of his biological drives. You use this as an opportunity to lift up your energies to the heart and connect at the soul. It takes some practice. But man, when you have it, it's amazing. You won't get there if you're turning him down all the time. He will not think you love him. He will see your love as conditional because you're holding back in an area that is important to him. And I've heard this comment a gazillion times when I meet with women. Well, what if I have a headache? What if I've been working all day and I'm tired? Well, you know, you're not stupid. You modify the sex. You don't have to have monkey sex. You don't have to turn it into a contest to see who has an orgasm first. You modify it. You modify your connection. And if there are times when you just can't, if you're usually in a yes mode, then he'll understand if you just can't. But there's a huge problem in the Western world. You know, it's really not so bad in other countries where women are taught from the time they're children that pleasing their husband is part of being a woman, and where men are taught that pleasing their wife is part of being a man. We're into this independent thing that is just messing up marriages left and right. Now, this is nobody's business except yours and your husband's. It's a very private thing, very personal. But you want to open your heart. You want to love your husband in a way that lets him know, period, that you're putting him ahead of yourself. I say the same thing to men. Not around the sex, obviously, but I tell men, your wife has to know from her point of view that you put her above yourself. Otherwise, it's conditional. And you won't experience this greatest gift of marriage, unconditional love. subscribe to the channel. Get the course for women. Read one of my books. You'll start to adjust. You'll start getting away from the negative thinking, the defensive thinking, the argumentative thinking that seems to dominate our culture. And you'll start to go, hey, I can have an amazing marriage. I can be floating in marital bliss, because you can. That's what I want for you. I don't want your husband to be like the one who really gets it in the marriage. I want you to be the one. All right. Hopefully this is useful and helpful for you. Blessings to you. Don't be afraid to leave a comment. Nothing snarky, but if you have a question, leave a question and I will respond. I make it a point. It takes a lot of time, but it's worth it. I respond to the questions that come in on the videos below and like it. And be in joy. Take care.